Hello, dear listener, and welcome to this quiet space we share, as the day gently recedes and the hush of the evening invites us inward. Tonight, we will embark upon a deeply calming journey into the intricate landscapes of the human psyche, exploring a concept that touches upon the very essence of who we are, and how we experience the world, the psychological complex. Settle in, breathe softly, and allow your thoughts to drift as we delve into these fascinating, profound ideas. Imagine, if you will, a subtle architecture within the deepest, most unseen parts of our being. A structure, a unique formation that resides within the unconscious mind. It isn't a tangible thing, not something you can touch or point to, but rather a dynamic organization, a way in which our inner world arranges itself. This hidden structure, this complex, often manifests, or becomes objectified, as we say, as an underlying theme in our lives. Think of it as a quiet melody that plays beneath the surface of our conscious thoughts, an enduring motif that shapes our perceptions and reactions. This theme might be something like a yearning for power, a desire for status, or perhaps a profound sensitivity to issues of belonging and acceptance. What gives rise to these mysterious complexes? They are formed by the intricate grouping of clusters of emotions, memories, perceptions, and even our deepest wishes. These clusters don't just appear randomly. They coalesce in a very specific way, typically in response to a perceived threat, a moment, or a series of moments that challenge the stability of our sense of self. It's as if the psyche, in its infinite wisdom and its striving for equilibrium, organizes these experiences into a protective, yet sometimes problematic, pattern. In the gentle discipline of psychoanalysis, these complexes stand in a fascinating contrast to what we call drives, which are more instinctual, biological urges. Complexes, on the other hand, speak to the unique, personal narrative of our psychological development. Let us consider a gentle illustration, one that helps to ground this abstract concept in the lived experience of a human being. Imagine a person who, as a child, tragically lost a limb, perhaps had a leg amputated. This profound physical event, while outwardly overcome with remarkable resilience and adaptation, would undoubtedly influence that person's life in ways that reach far beyond the physical realm. Even after healing, after learning to navigate the world with strength and grace, the echoes of that experience would resonate deeply. This person might find themselves having a myriad of thoughts, a vast ocean of emotions, vivid memories, and perhaps persistent feelings of inferiority, interspersed with moments of triumph, flashes of bitterness, and unyielding determinations, all centering, in some way, around that single, defining aspect of their life. If these thoughts and feelings were to become troubling, pervasive, and subtly influence their behavior and relationships in ways that were hard to consciously grasp, then the profound psychologist Carl Jung might very well say that this person had a complex about their leg. It wouldn't simply be about the physical absence, but about the entire constellation of psychological experience woven around it, the loss, the vulnerability, the adaptation, the societal reactions, the internal narratives of self-worth and capability. This complex would act as a nucleus, attracting all related experiences, coloring new perceptions, and shaping responses in a way that, while perhaps originating as a protective mechanism, could ultimately become a subtle source of unconscious suffering or maladaptive patterns. The reality of these complexes is, in fact, widely recognized and deeply agreed upon within the realm of depth psychology. This particular branch of psychology, which we hold dear in our quiet explorations, asserts a profound truth, that the vast majority of our personality, our very being, is determined and influenced by processes that unfold largely within the unconscious. It's a powerful idea, inviting us to look beyond the surface of our conscious awareness and to acknowledge the deep currents that truly guide our lives. According to Jung's comprehensive accounting of the human psyche, complexes are not rare anomalies. They are, in fact, common, almost universal features of our psychic landscape, like mountains and valleys in the topography of our inner world. They often become incredibly relevant in the tender, unfolding work of psychotherapy, offering valuable pathways to examine and ultimately resolve. This resolution is particularly crucial, for it is often a significant step, a vital part of the profound journey toward what Jung termed individuation, or the attainment of psychological wholeness. Without this gentle, conscious resolution, complexes, like unseen puppet masters, can continue to exert their unconscious, sometimes maladaptive, influence on our thoughts, our feelings, and our behavior. They can, subtly yet persistently, keep us from achieving a truly integrated, harmonious psychological state, preventing us from becoming the fullest, most authentic version of ourselves. To understand these powerful formations more deeply, let us journey back in time to the history and development of this profound idea. Carl Jung, a titan in the field of psychology, offered a truly revolutionary distinction between two fundamental types of unconscious mind. He spoke of the personal unconscious, which we might imagine as a vast, personal reservoir. This reservoir is the accumulation of all the unique experiences from a person's entire lifetime that, for various reasons, cannot be consciously recalled at any given moment. It holds forgotten memories, repressed feelings, subliminal perceptions, and all those fleeting thoughts that never quite made it into our waking awareness. It's the unique story of our individual journey, stored away in the depths. But then, Jung introduced an even more awe-inspiring concept, the collective unconscious. This, he proposed, was not personal at all, but a universal inheritance of all human beings. It is, in a sense, a species memory, passed on to each and every one of us, much like the inherent motor programs and instincts that guide other animals. Think of the innate wisdom that allows a bird to build a nest, or a spider to weave its web, without ever being taught. The collective unconscious, Jung believed, held universal patterns, images, and themes, what he called archetypes, that have been etched into the human psyche through millennia of shared experience. It's the deep, universal foundation upon which our personal story is built. And it was within the realm of the personal unconscious that Jung believed complexes held sway, dominating and shaping its dynamic landscape. The very term, complex, in German, complex, often referred to more fully as emotionally charged complexes, or feeling tone complex of ideas, was a brainchild of Carl Jung himself, during a pivotal period when he was still a close associate and intellectual companion of Sigmund Freud. So central and fundamental were these complexes to Jung's emerging body of thought that he originally chose to call his entire theoretical framework complex psychology. This speaks volumes about the significance he placed on these unconscious structures. The historical roots of the term stretch back even further, to a German psychiatrist named Theodor Ziehen. Ziehen was a pioneer who experimented with reaction times and what were called word association tests. It was this early scientific inquiry into the nuances of mental response that paved the way for Jung's profound insights. Jung himself described a complex as a kind of node in the unconscious. You might picture it as a knot, a dense cluster of unconscious feelings and beliefs, quietly existing beneath the surface of our awareness. W.H. We cannot directly perceive these knots. Their presence can be detected indirectly, often through behaviors that seem puzzling, disproportionate, or simply hard to account for through conscious reasoning alone. It's like feeling a tug on an unseen string, the source of which is hidden from view. Jung developed his groundbreaking theory regarding complexes very early in his illustrious career. This development was rooted in practical, observational science through the very word association tests that were being conducted at the Berghalsli, the renowned psychiatric clinic of Zurich University, where he worked with diligence and keen observation from 1900 to 1908. Let us imagine the scene, the quiet clinical setting. In these word association tests, a researcher would calmly read a list of 100 carefully chosen words to a subject. The subject's task was simple, yet revealing, to say, as quickly as humanly possible, the very first thing that came to mind in response to each word. And crucial to this process was the precise measurement of the subject's reaction time, often recorded in precise fifths of a second. It's a testament to scientific ingenuity that this method was actually invented way back in 1879 by Sir Francis Galton, a true pioneer in the study of human differences. As the words were spoken, and the responses given, researchers would meticulously note any unusual reactions. A subtle hesitation, a slight slip of the tongue, a sudden flush of color, a flicker of emotion in the eyes. These seemingly minor details were not dismissed as errors, but rather observed as significant clues. Jung, with his extraordinary perceptiveness, was particularly interested in the patterns he detected within subjects' responses. These patterns, these subtle deviations from the norm, he realized, were hints, whispers, really, from the unconscious, revealing underlying feelings and beliefs that were not readily accessible to conscious awareness. It was in these nuanced delays, these emotional blips, these curious associations, that the presence of a feeling tone complex began to reveal itself. A particular word might touch upon a hidden knot of unresolved experience, causing a brief internal disruption, a momentary stutter in the flow of consciousness. In Jung's comprehensive theory, complexes are not monolithic entities. They are dynamic and can exist in various states of awareness. They may be fully conscious, meaning we are acutely aware of their influence and the theme they represent. Or they might be partly conscious, flitting in and out of our awareness, glimpsed occasionally but not fully understood. Most often, however, they remain largely unconscious, subtly guiding our behavior and emotions from the hidden depths. Furthermore, Jung recognized that complexes are not inherently good or bad. They can be positive, leading to beneficial consequences, inspiring creativity, resilience, and growth. Or conversely, they can be negative, resulting in pain, suffering, and maladaptive patterns. It is the nature of the associated experiences, and our conscious relationship to them, that determines their ultimate impact. There are, in fact, many kinds of complexes, as diverse and varied as human experience itself. But at the very core of any complex, Jung believed, lies a universal pattern of experience, what he famously termed an archetype. These archetypes are like blueprints for human experience, primordial images and patterns that resonate across cultures and throughout time. They give complexes their universal resonance, even as the specific manifestations are highly personal. Jung identified and wrote extensively about several major complexes. Two of the most widely recognized are the anima and the animus. The anima, he described as a fascinating node of unconscious beliefs and feelings residing within a man's psyche, specifically relating to the opposite gender. It's his inner woman, his idealized image of the feminine, often projected onto real women in his life, shaping his attractions and reactions. The animus, conversely, is the corresponding complex found within a woman's psyche, representing her inner man, her unconscious image of the masculine, influencing her relationships and her sense of self in the world. Beyond these profound gender-related complexes, Jung also explored others that resonate deeply within the human experience. The mother complex, deeply tied to our earliest experiences of nurture and security. The father complex, shaping our relationship to authority, structure, and the external world. The hero complex, inspiring us towards acts of courage and self-sacrifice. And, in more recent theoretical expansions, even the brother and sister complexes, reflecting the dynamics of sibling relationships, and our earliest experiences of peer interaction. Jung held the view that it was perfectly normal, even expected, for individuals to have complexes. After all, every human being has emotional experiences, unique memories, and significant relationships that, inevitably, affect the delicate balance of the psyche. To be human is to have complexes. However, while they are normal, the challenge arises when negative complexes take hold, causing us pain, suffering, and hindering our capacity for joy and fulfillment. It is worth noting a key difference between Jungian theory and the insights offered by Freud. Freud, in his seminal work, largely focused on one particular complex, the Oedipus complex. This complex, in Freud's view, reflected the universal developmental challenges faced by every young boy, particularly concerning their relationship with their parents, and the unconscious desires and rivalries that emerged during childhood. While Freud did briefly touch upon the Electra complex, a parallel concept for girls, his primary theoretical emphasis remained firmly on the Oedipus complex, and he did not explore the vast array of other complexes that Jung later identified and elaborated upon. This fundamental divergence in their understanding of the unconscious landscape was one of the many reasons why, after years of working closely together, Jung ultimately broke from Freud. Their disagreements and ideas were profound, leading each to develop their own distinct and powerful theories. Jung, wishing to clearly distinguish his findings and his unique approach from Freud's psychoanalysis, named his comprehensive body of work Analytical Psychology. Even the very core of our conscious identity, what we refer to as the ego, can be understood through the lens of complexes. The ego itself, that sense of I, that guides our daily interactions and our sense of self, can be thought of as a complex. It is a cluster, a dynamic organization of ideas, perceptions, and memories that forms the center of our conscious personality. And in Jung's broader vision of the psyche, the ego complex is not yet fully integrated with all the other parts of our being, those deeper, often unconscious elements. The journey of understanding and integrating our complexes is a lifelong endeavor, a path toward deeper self-awareness and psychological maturity. It is through this gentle, yet profound work that we begin to unravel the unconscious influences that have shaped our lives, giving us the opportunity to consciously choose our responses, rather than being unconsciously driven by patterns formed in the past. When we acknowledge a complex, when we bring it into the light of awareness, even just a little, we begin to lessen its power over us. We start to distinguish between the theme that has played out in our lives and our true, authentic self. Imagine the peace that comes from understanding why certain situations trigger intense emotions within you, or why certain patterns repeat in your relationships. It's not about eradicating the complex entirely, for it is a part of our history, a part of our unique psychological makeup. Rather, T is about transforming our relationship to it. It's about integrating those fragmented parts of ourselves, bringing them into a more harmonious whole. This process of psychological integration, of weaving together the conscious and unconscious threads of our being, is at the heart of the journey towards individuation, becoming a truly whole, integrated, and authentic individual. It's a journey of self-discovery, of reclaiming our inner authority, and of living a life that is truly aligned with our deepest values and aspirations, free from the subtle, unconscious constraints of unresolved patterns. As you drift now, let these gentle concepts settle within you. There is no need to actively solve or analyze anything tonight. Simply allow the idea of the complex, this natural phenomenon of the human psyche, to reside in the background of your awareness. It is a testament to the incredible depth and complexity of human experience, a reminder that we are all vast, intricate beings, with rich inner worlds. Understanding these hidden structures is not about finding fault, but about cultivating compassion for ourselves and for others, recognizing that we are all, in our unique ways, navigating the beautiful, challenging landscape of our own unconscious. Rest now, dear listener. May your sleep be peaceful and restorative, and may you awaken with a renewed sense of calm and clarity. Good night.